What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here. I've got another NIO update for you guys. We have some awesome news for NIO that got released overnight, and we are seeing a little bit of a boost in share price off of this new battery swapping partnership that, again, is very, very good for NIO, not only in the short term, but for the long term as well, as this battery swapping kind of methodology and ideology starts to get more widespread. Now, we also have a couple of other key pieces of news that we have to discuss as well surrounding the launch of Firefly and a couple of reasons and explanations as to why the Onvo delivery numbers have not really met expectations so far. So guys, before we get into all of that information, if you guys do enjoy the information and analysis that I provide for you guys on this channel and in these videos here, make sure you go down and hit that like button. Again, it costs you absolutely nothing to do it, but it helps me out a whole lot in spreading these videos out to as many people who actually want to learn. Let's try and hit 500 likes on this video, guys. That would be really awesome. And again, make sure you guys are subscribed so you never miss another video like this. And it's really important that you turn on those notification bells as well. So the first thing that I want to talk about with you guys here is obviously how the chart is looking for NIO, and kind of the price action that we're seeing today after this news was released. So again, in yesterday's video, we were talking about how we were chopping around right at this 200 exponential moving average on the daily time frame, and really again talking about this zone down beneath us here between about 420 and about 360 that is going to serve as a very, very strong area of support. Now, what I want to really get across to you guys in this video here is you are going to see a lot of videos out there and a lot of people talking about a company like NIO and really hyping it up for YouTube views. Now, when you see a good piece of news coming out on NIO, such as what we saw with this battery swapping partnership, which again we're going to talk about, and you don't see the stock just go absolutely vertical up to $6, $6.50, again, guys, you got to make sure that you keep your expectations in check, because if you paid attention to anything that I've said on these videos so far, is that NIO has a very, very important task and an important year ahead. If they can increase their margins and hit that fourth quarter profitability in 2025, then you can start to see the stock running to the upside. But until that changes, a lot of this short-term price action, especially to me, is completely meaningless. You have to make sure, again, that you're thinking about this from a long-term perspective if that's the type of investor that you are. You can't sit here and say, oh, I want the stock to just go absolutely vertical with nothing actually changing directly in the present on NIO's fundamentals. Could this help in furthering NIO's prospects in the future? Absolutely, but it doesn't change the core of everything that we need to see. Now, again, seeing NIO give us a little bit of a nice buffer here going into earnings on Friday is a really, really awesome thing to see. But again, I'm really looking towards that fourth quarter of this year and kind of the beginning of next year and what the prospects look like in 2026 for this investment in NIO. I think a lot of you guys are thinking a little bit too short term, but I really don't think anybody should be disappointed about this price action today, up about 4.37% on some relatively good news is obviously a really solid thing to see. So let's go through the details of this partnership a little bit. So NIO partners with Catl to create the world's largest battery swap network. NIO and Catl's battery swap network will operate in parallel with Firefly's subsequent newly developed models using Catl's ChocoSwap technology standard. Catl is currently moving forward with an investment of about $346 million in NIO Power. So again, the two companies will work together to build the world's largest and most advanced battery swap service network for passenger cars, enhance battery swap network sharing, and accelerate the adoption and advancement of battery swap services on the basis of unified battery standards. Seeing this is a really, really good sign for kind of the way that NIO has tried to operate in this market over the last couple of years. You guys all know that a lot of these other electric vehicle companies focus on charging. NIO focuses on battery swap. If these stations are able to get more widespread, well, it's going to make the consumer feel a little bit more comfortable with the prospects of buying a NIO vehicle, a Firefly vehicle, an Onvo vehicle, where they're going to have more access to a lot of these battery swapping networks, and it's going to be a lot easier for them, and the customer kind of experience is going to be a lot better, which is obviously a good thing and something that NIO has been working to accomplish for some time. So Again, very good news. Is this really changing anything about the fundamentals of this in the present? Not necessarily, but it is definitely a step in the right direction. Now, in addition to this awesome partnership, guys, we also have some additional news on when Firefly is going to be coming onto the market. But what I want you guys to really focus in on and why Firefly and Onvo are so important has to do a lot with this chart right here and the overall state of the Chinese economy. What we're looking at right now is Chinese consumer confidence. And as you can see, in 2022, it fell off a cliff and it really has not been able to move back to the upside. Consumer confidence, consumer spending, consumer sentiment, a lot of the time, guys, is a self-fulfilling prophecy. If a lot of these consumers are not feeling good about their current financial situation or the prospects of their economy in their domestic market, so in this case, China, moving forward, well, then it's going to be a lot harder for them to justify some of these larger purchases, which again is going to hurt NIO because NIO is operating in the luxury and premium sector of the electric vehicle market in a market in China that is already incredibly competitive. So having sub-brands like Firefly and Onvo are incredibly important in getting people in the door to the NIO ecosystem and showing them what their battery swapping technology and everything else that NIO has to offer, what they are all about. So when we come over here and take a look, NIO's brand Firefly to officially launch their EV model on April 19th. So the brand's chief Daniel Jin revealed on Tuesday that the official launch, where price details, delivery timeline, which is really important, and interior are anticipated to be revealed. So this is all good news, but it all is going to come down to execution. That is the main thing that we're focusing on with NIO here, especially over the next year, year and a half. It's great. We have a lot of this good talk. We have the goals of hitting profitability in Q4, but we need to see action and results. And right now, we haven't necessarily seen that with Onvo, as the Onvo president explains why deliveries fell short of expectations. Remember, Onvo started off really strong in the fourth quarter of 2024 there, but then really started to fade as we came into this year, mainly due to the fact that they really were not prepared to deliver all of these vehicles on time. Now, hopefully they are learning from these things, and it does look like they are as you kind of scroll down a little bit further in this article here. If last year's orders hadn't been lost, the trend would have been better in January and February this year. Asked when he realized that the 20,000 monthly sales target would be difficult to meet, he said it was around the Chinese New Year holiday at the end of January. Onvo delivers mostly new orders after the Chinese New Year holiday. This Chinese New Year holiday was again between January 28th and February 4th. Onvo didn't respond well to the wait and shouldn't have let potential customers worry about losing out on the benefits they should have gotten, which was effectively a tax credit, the new EV trade-in subsidy, that they did extend for 2025, but having a launch like this and having it not go as planned is definitely not what you want to see in the present. Now, hopefully the NIO group as a whole has learned from this and is then going to better manage the Firefly launch, which should really start showing signs of deliveries, as we saw in that article prior, at the end of April. But again, just like I said earlier, guys, we need to see results. It is great to see all of these partnerships. It's nice to see NIO moving to the upside, but what I want you guys to think about is the core. Again, I can just kind of tell you guys the core of why I'm putting capital at risk in this company here is the fact that they can really start to ramp up their margin, grow their margins, grow their revenues, and potentially hit those profitability metrics at the end of this year or the beginning of next year. All of these things and all of this talk right now is good, but we need to see results. Hopefully, Onvo can get back on its feet. The launch of Firefly is going to go a lot better over the first few quarters than Onvo has, and then we can go from there. Now, again, guys, I'm not going to sit here and just say, oh, everything's going great. This company is just going to go vertical right away. That doesn't do you any good, and it definitely doesn't do me any good because, again, I have some money at risk in this company right now. I have about 4,000 shares with an average of $4.54, and I would obviously like to see that grow. But if things change, I will then change my opinion. But right now, we are still looking at those future prospects. So, guys, that is going to wrap up this video here. If you did enjoy the information and analysis I provided for you guys in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it helps me out a whole lot in spreading this information out to as many people who actually want to learn. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications so you never miss another one of these videos as soon as they go live. But until next time, guys, I will see you. Peace.